There is an upcoming case before the Supreme Court that deals with the inhumane realities of industrial animal production. The National Pork Producers Council and the American Farm Bureau Federation, which are lobbying groups, filed a case that has finally reached the Supreme Court. So they did this in response to a 2018 California proposition, Proposition 12. It banned the sale of meat and eggs within the state from animals raised in extreme confinement. Now, similarly, a couple years before, in 2016, Massachusetts banned all housing systems that don't allow an animal to turn around, lay down, stand up, and move freely. The issue focuses around the question of whether the production of meat should be moral. It seems to be specifically focused on the use of gestation crates, or let's say gestational crates. The pork industry relies on female pigs to continuously give birth to piglets that are raised for meat. 98% of producers use gestational crates some of the time, especially for artificial insemination. And almost all of the pork industry is using artificial insemination. The use of gestational crates is standard for 66% of producers, so it's widely used. Although there's a lot of discussion about eliminating it over time, and people have taken steps, and some companies have eliminated it altogether and made commitments to eliminate it altogether. So the pigs stay in a tightly managed cycle of pregnancy to produce as many litters as possible per year. I think the gestational period for a pig is around 16 weeks. So they're continually cycled through artificial pregnancies until they're turned into sausages when their litters aren't producing as much. So they just become part of the meat process. So in theory, the sausage you're eating could have come from the mother of the bacon you ate 2 years early. Now, some feel these gestational crates are inhumane because it restricts the movement of the mother. But it's all about space in the industry, maximizing the number of pigs that can be housed in a single barn, and you can employ fewer employees. Food and water are automated. The floors are slatted to allow for manure collection underneath, which go off into some type of river or some type of holding lake that they have. Even those companies that have done away with gestational crates are still housing pigs indoors on concrete floors. So it's not as if they're running around Animal Farm in the barn. Well, there are two sides to every story. The pork lobby says it buys most of its pork from states outside of California, and it would have to reinvent itself just for California. I don't think they had to reinvent themselves for Massachusetts, but this is the argument that they're making. Now, on the other hand, Tyson's Foods said they can supply what California needs crate-free, just as somebody's supplying Massachusetts. The folks in California that support the law feel we shouldn't make animals suffer. So remember, 63% of people voted for this proposition. So most people in California, just like they voted to get rid of electric cars at a certain point, require that new housing have solar panels on top. So they're very progressive in California. So studies say that pigs are social beings, as intelligent as dogs and dolphins. They also seem to have some strict hierarchy. So the people that support gestational crates feel they're protecting the pigs from dominant, more aggressive pigs. And the folks that they've interviewed have said there are a couple more injuries when they get rid of the gestational crates, but the less dominant pigs learn to adapt to the hierarchy. So, according to the World Animal Protection website, the industry views farmed animals as cogs in a machine. The mothers are not seen as caring, intelligent creatures deserving of comfort and safety. Rather, they're considered solely as units of production, responsible for birthing as many as possible. Makes you think.